Through Marconics, we are emitting a Clarion call. Those that respond will already have Marconics pre-programmed in their DNA. You came here with very specific roles to play, with very specific purposes at this time. But as even with the angels, as you entered this density and you fell asleep, you forgot. But many of you know and have felt for most of your lives as though you don't belong here, as though you are not a part of this experience, as though there was always meant to be something else. You are beginning to wake up. Your higher selves are reaching back across time and space to make sure that you do. But no one's coming to save you. That was never the plan. The plan was that you would be ready by this time. The plan was that you would be awake at this time and be able to stand fully in the power of who you are. Of who you are in the higher realms and who you anchor on the planet's surface right now. Your purpose is to assist others during this process. And while you slept, you forgot. And now you must wake up. You must wake up.
The first time I heard the phrase that this is our sixth and final attempt to take the planet to light, I was sitting in the audience watching Alison up on stage. And it was the first time that she spoke as Grace Elodie. And this presence, this energy took over. And there was this light coming down on her on stage. And she said, I'm speaking to those of you who can hear me. I know who you are. And in that moment, this energy just kind of rippled through the audience, and you could see those that she was speaking to were reduced to tears. And as I was sitting there, I was having a hard time breathing, and I could feel this energy rush through my body, and there was this moment of understanding that we've been doing this for lifetimes, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, trying to reinsert ourselves at different points in space and time in our own evolution to, like a butterfly effect, trying to change the outcome.
There has been now, as was promised, a quantum separation of timelines, of vibrational bandwidths that resonate with each individual's own energy field. A quantum separation that creates a division between those who are choosing to remain in 3D, those who are choosing to ascend into 5D, and also those that are going to rejoin an ascension path that was lost at the fall of Atlantis to the 7th dimension.
A recalibration is a complete metamorphosis of your energy field and of your light body structure. A recalibration takes you from being able to function in one type of environment, so the third dimensional reality, for example, and it recalibrates your body. It's a retooling, a reconfiguring of your energy system, of your light body system, of your chakra system, that now enables you to function and thrive in a different reality, in a different set of circumstances, in a different set of physics. It is the passageway that enables the human body to go from third dimensional reality through fourth into fifth and higher and higher and higher. And the recalibration itself the most fascinating piece of that puzzle is that it opens up your energy field and your chakra system so that you cease to be confined by the limits of the reality that we're subject to under this matrix. And it enables you now to perceive life and reality and experience in other dimensions while simultaneously being able to experience them here. Part of what happens is that your system is plugged in. We have, just like the physical body and the energy field has meridians that might be familiar for someone who's using acupuncture, we work with the axiotonal system, which is a system that's been dormant for an extraordinarily long period of our human evolution. And if you think of this system as the system that plugs you back into you at God, to you at Source, we take you and we plug you back in so that you are now continually able to draw down an infinite source of energy. When you're able to do this, anything becomes possible. The layers of your multidimensional holographic body come into alignment. When that happens, you are able to spontaneously heal in whatever way is most appropriate for you, whether it's spiritual, physical, mental, emotional. The body just it's like taking a deck of cards that have been all mixed up and shuffling them right back into a nice tight pack. Everything lines up. And not only is it about what has happened in the energy field in the physical body, but now versions of you that go up through the dimensional structure all the way up to you at Source come into alignment. So you're able to draw down wisdom, knowledge, and experience that you have from previous lifetimes, from future lifetimes, and from versions of you that are existing in multiple realities right now.
Those light workers that were preparing for the shift at the end of 2012, some noticed that as we transitioned into 2013, that there wasn't this big explosion of energy, that there wasn't a crossing of a finish line with fanfare. Everybody didn't hold hands and jump into the fifth dimension. Some people noticed a slight improvement in their life. Some people noticed that maybe energetically they were kind of bumping up against a ceiling, that things had shifted, but not enough for what they were expecting or what they could feel was still out there energetically. Those that were in the third dimension may have also noticed that they were experiencing somewhat of an improvement in their life. Some have experienced a full-on apocalypse, depending on where they are in the world and what experiences they've been contracted to have. One of the things that was interesting about this period of time is that as we moved forward on our ascension path, the lightworkers that have woken up and have stepped into their power are contributing their essence, their experience, and their consciousness into that vibration of oneness and unity. But it's not oneness and unity the way that we've been taught about everyone kind of slipping into this pool of gooey oneness. It's about lightworkers operating as sovereign individuals, contributing their experiences into a collective that operates in oneness. And there's a nuance there. What's happening is, as lightworkers are stepping into that power and contributing their essence and experience, it's creating a ripple through time and space, so that Marconics, the energy of Marconics, is actually drawing back through time and space from that human consciousness as it evolves on a linear path through time. Because there is no linear time in the higher dimensions, we're able to access that future point in the now, right now. It would be as though you, from a future point, has come back through time and space to make a connection with you here, now, in this moment, to assure and ensure that you make the choices and the decisions and step onto the path that will lead you to your future point where you have ascended, where you have achieved the things that you came here to achieve.
Unfortunately, each time that has happened, the planet itself
it only has so many cycles. Same with every planet in the solar system, and then it will go into a closing cycle and go dormant, and another planet in the system will start to spark up. As that process begins, it slows, and as it slows in its spin rate, it enters a system of fall. The quantum that supports the planet weakens and weakens and weakens. And humans in their incarnational cycles, the way they work now, they shed their body in the death transition and they enter the spirit realm at the core of the planet, and they re-emerge manifested on the surface again, having sort of picked up an unstructured DNA on the way for another cycle, another experience. But they are also unclosed energetic systems working on a finite quantum which is weakening and weakening. And this planet won't see another cycle. This planet won't go anywhere near seeing another cycle. And it won't be long before humans simply cannot manifest on the surface of the planet anymore. So it is a matter of this cycle is the last one, simply for that reason there isn't enough quantum to support them. Anyone who has contracted to experience ascension into 5D is likely now to be in a fourth dimensional corridor. Up until this time, the corridor has been empty. It has been like a white room, and you have been able to decorate it in whichever way you feel more comfortable. If you were not quite ready to step out of the 3D paradigm, you could have decorated the lower fourth, to resemble 3D. If you are on a path to fifth, but you cannot quite make that connection yet, then you can decorate the higher fourth to resemble the peace, joy, harmony paradigm of 5D. But what is occurring now is that on these three different parallel realities, different versions of this planet, they have reached different stages in the process of the ascension as a whole. On the three-dimensional planet where we all began, the ascension is now over. The alignments are closed. The gates are closed. And 3D must be allowed to continue on the evolutionary path that it has selected, whether it is through technology or whether it is through cataclysm. It must be allowed to complete its cycle, as has been agreed. Light workers are now not welcome in the three-dimensional version of Earth, and yet many have not been able to raise their vibrations high enough to maintain or sustain a shift into the 5D version of Earth. On the 5D planet, the ascension is halfway through already, and we are beginning an ascension process now to 7th. Those who find themselves now in this fourth dimensional corridor will experience the feeling of limitation, of confusion, of chaos even. They are literally banging against a ceiling they cannot break through on their own. And this is due to many, many different factors. It is not down to any fault of the individual, but through historic corruption of the physical biological vehicle. Even those who have managed to activate a double-star tetrahedron light body will experience a deceleration in the speed of that light body. And light workers will begin to fall asleep as we move away again from the galactic core. You must allow for that reconnection through the axiatonal system of the vibratory lines that exist in the fifth template of your body, back into what scientists call the unified field, or the axi-B tonal system, so that you can draw down the upgrades you will need if you continue to go higher from the cosmos, the axi-C tonal system. You need help with that now. And there are very few modalities that are actually achieving that kind of connection beyond this point.